Preptober continues, and I have already made some miscalculations. Okay, so I realized a flaw in my Preptober plans. Two flaws. First, I kind of forgot that I need to film on either Wednesday or Monday, and that doesn't really jive with my Friday goal plan. But it worked out okay this week. Bigger flaw in my plan. I had originally planned to go get a plot first, then do the characters, and then do the world building, and then make an outline. Completely ignoring the fact that I've never outlined a book that way. Ever. What I usually do is I get like an idea for a character in my head, just like a basic bare bones, no real info, like a vague ghost of a character. And then I make the worlds. And then once I make the worlds, like as I'm making the worlds, the character solidifies into a real character. And then once I got the world and the character, then I get the plot. So like I literally decided to do my process backwards for no reason. No reason. I don't know what was going through my head. So I decided to start with world building. Be smart about this. Biggest discovery of literally last night was this website called Asgar. Asgar's fantasy map generator. And oh my god, beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. And what's great for me, well, first of all, it looks good. It looks good. It looks like a real landmass. I could do like this blank thing and just fill it in. Or if you want to get fancy, you can be like political map. Like we got kingdoms, we got a cultural. Let me take it off. Grayscale. There we go. We got cultures, we got religions. Like it does it all for you, which means I spend so much less time wasting my time with this. So this is the one I did. I didn't keep any of these names or anything, but I did keep the roads, and I will show you. Okay, so here is the blank map. I took this blank map and then I turned on routes. Okay, trails, and then I got rid of the tiny guys, and it left me with this one main road going from one side of the continent to the other. Okay, the idea I had in my head for this world was that there was Necromancer, and he just devastated everything, and like people had to hole up in cities with like big walls so the undead couldn't get in, and they had to travel just in between those big cities, and that was all that was left. At this point in time, Guy's been defeated. They're rebuilding. These roads are like enchanted with stuff that keeps zombies away so they can travel safely, and there's also like enchantments around all the cities too. So the fact that this made the road for me, amazing. So let me show you what I did with it. This is what I did with it. I took that white map with just the road that I had colored red, and then I made all this. First thing I did, because I'm a linguistics nerd, is I made borders of like different languages, and I kind of felt it out, like where would a country be, blah blah blah, and do like a nebulous kind of thing with that. And once I did that, kind of felt it out, I was like, oh, this one's kind of big. This here, the common trade language, that's a big country, so maybe the population was huge and they became the dominant language, so I did that. And then this island out here, I'm like, there's no way that island, it was either totally safe or it got totally destroyed. So I decided it got totally destroyed. This pink area down here, I was thinking like the road doesn't go there, so that must mean that that whole area is abandoned. That's a country that totally got destroyed. And then up here in the top left, we got the red area, and I'm like, there's no roads up there either, so that country is totally gone too. And I decided that since, let's say the common trade language, we should protect that a little bit. So let's say that the necromancer was in that side. Okay? Top left. And then I saw this like bay here that had been created. So I'm like, that's a good launching point for like an army. Okay? Look, the map is making my backstory for me. You see this? This is great. Okay. So after I did that, I took the roads and I put stopping points, like where would be a good spot that like a city would be, which is basically on all the intersections. So first I put the dots down. I didn't name them. I put all the dots down and decided where the necromancer spot was going to be here. And then based on where all these are, I planned out the necromancer's advance into the rest of the continent here. Okay, so the red area, totally devastated. Orange, still devastated, but not as much. Yellow, still messed up, but they didn't like experience that much. I had to, let me take this off. Obviously the area near the necromancer's place would get messed up. And then I kind of figured they did like an advance through the continent to get to this one, which was totally destroyed. And then I needed a reason that the dude would have did that. So I was thinking maybe that country had a good navy. So I put old shipyards right there. And that was why that country got destroyed first, because it was the good navy. Boom, gone. And once that big enemy was gone, then it was free for all. It spread out. It was slowly spreading this way before Necromancer got stopped. Now, let's talk about the names. Let me put all the names back on. If you got language borders, it's probably a country border as well, for the most part, okay? So, if you got language borders, that means the names in that area have to kind of sound like they belong to the same language. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I started going through behindthename.com to like get names that I could like switch into something that was not like a name. And then I realized, because I was using that site, they all sounded very European. And at that point I was just like, I'm gonna do it myself. But you could see in the middle as Adelant, that's still kind of Englishy. Now I gotta decide, where is the story going to take place? And I was thinking common trade language, that's the main area. Maybe the main character should be from there. And then I was like, no, why am I doing that? So I put them here in this Olger and Psalm, which I had so much fun. This is the one I had the most fun naming. Olger and Psalm is where this takes place, down here at the bottom. Renzego Viram. Okay. Now, who are these people? Have not narrowed that down yet, because that's next week's job. But I started. And what I did, I know that the one character is going to be like a necromancer, because that's like a normal job. There was just this one necromancer who just like went crazy. Okay. But there's the normal and normal powered necromancers everywhere. So there's them, and then there is the enchanter. Enchanters, their job is to keep the roads safe and the city safe. So I was thinking, these two, what could these two be doing here? And then I saw that there's these two branches here, okay, that just end. They don't go anywhere. So I was thinking, what if that's a project of these remnants on this continent to reclaim that area? So I made a note of that. Reclamation paths. Boom, boom. And all the enchanters are going there to build back into Savaimi. First I thought the enchanter wants to go there, wants to do that. And then I'm thinking, okay, this kind of project would need a lot of enchanters. So why wouldn't she just be able to go? Okay. So now I'm thinking, like, maybe she's not that good, alright? Maybe she's only good enough to just do like local enchanting on the roads and like on the walls, like with all the other low-level enchanters, so she wants to prove herself. Alright, so then we got the enchanter locked away. Then I'm thinking, we got another character. The enchanter is not the main character, okay? The necromancer is the main character. So what do we got with the necromancer going on, who is also down there? And as I'm staring at this map, I'm thinking, well, what if she was from Grand Maris, but that got totally destroyed? And if it got totally destroyed, there'd be a whole bunch of refugees coming down into that area. We got a refugee necromancer coming down, and they came down, but there would have to be a reason that they came all the way down to that bottom city. So I was like, hey, maybe they had distant relatives there. And then I'm thinking, hey, Grand Maris has a different language than this one, so that's gonna be a factor into this. Could be a discrimination factor. There's probably gonna be a discrimination factor on the fact that she is a necromancer and she's a refugee. And with the way the world is, there's not that much resources left because it's totally messed. I actually charted out here. This overlay, this is all of like the areas that are like totally dangerous. All this black stuff. Okay? Just to illustrate to myself what's off limits. So I'm like, she would also have stuff to prove. Haven't quite figured her out yet. Once again, that's next week's job. But look at all this, man. I've been talking for like 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes I've been talking. Alright. I'm editing a lot of this out. But I've been talking for that long. Just from like a generated map that I just stared at. It's magical. It's magical. And like, I haven't even gone through all the stuff I was thinking about. I even was like, hey, I did a temperature, and then it's cold on the top and bottom. Okay? Because, you know, globe. And I was like, hey, look, everything is kind of in like a temperate area. So then I was thinking, if all the cities are on that, then it can't be that hot. So obviously, the top and bottom are probably really cold. And from that, I was like, hey, these top right cities, they're probably like mostly like coal. Let's say they're mountainous. Coal, seafood, metals, and that'll be them. And then also, Neuron de Mazet, the Necromancer's area, I'm thinking like, hey, what's another reason that cold area, which probably doesn't have a lot of farming or anything, what's the reason that the people from there destroyed everything? Okay? And I was like, hey, what if that country was like the world supplier of steel? They start a war, everyone else, they just have what they have and they're not getting any more. I was having a lot of fun with this. So anyway, you can see, look, perfect writing tool. Like, I didn't think that this map was gonna be that valuable. I thought I'd just be able to, like, you know, put a couple towns, and then I'd have to sit here staring at Plotter, like, trying to think of stuff to put in there. But, like, it did everything. Like, just looking at it and thinking about how it would work in, like, real life did, like, half my work for me. Like, okay, this is just the places. I got notes on characters, I got just world notes in general, and I even like did a timeline of the stuff that would have happened. I was not expecting to be this far on Wednesday. Today is a Wednesday that I'm filming this. It's looking good. I'm feeling kind of nice. We'll see how all this goes. I guess I'm gonna finish this week. Finish doing this world building, alright? And then I'm gonna nail down my characters next week and probably spend way too much time on Art Bader making them. So we'll see if I stay on track and if that's my next video. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I hope anyone who watches this has a use for Asgard. It's Asgard, what's it called? Fantasy map generator. Amazing. So amazing. I hope all of your Preptober things are going good, and I'll see you next week.